Week 6 Rise of Capitalism and Global Trade. 1. Capitalism Concept and Characteristics. Capitalism is an economic system that has significantly shaped the modern world. Concept of capitalism. At its core, capitalism is an economic framework where the means of production such as factories, land, and machinery are predominantly owned and controlled by private individuals or corporations. The primary objective within this system is the generation of profit through the production and exchange of goods and services in competitive markets. Capitalism emphasizes individual initiative, innovation, and the efficient allocation of resources, driven by supply and demand dynamics. Historical development. Capitalism emerged prominently in Western Europe during the late Middle Ages, gaining momentum with the Industrial Revolution in the 18th and 19th centuries. Pioneers like Adam Smith, whose seminal work, The Wealth of Nations 1776, laid the intellectual foundation for capitalism, advocated for free markets and limited government intervention. Over time, capitalism evolved, adapting to various social and economic changes, including the rise of multinational corporations, globalization, and technological advancements. Key characteristics of capitalism. Private property rights. Individuals and businesses have the right to own and use property as they see fit. This ownership extends to physical assets like land and factories, as well as intellectual property. Market economy. Economic decisions regarding production, investment, and distribution are guided by market signals, primarily price mechanisms. Supply and demand determine what is produced, how much is produced, and at what price goods and services are sold. Capital accumulation. The accumulation and investment of capital are central to capitalism. Profits generated by businesses are reinvested to foster growth, innovation, and increased productivity. Competition. Multiple firms vie for market share, driving efficiency and innovation. Competition helps prevent monopolies, encourages quality improvement, and keeps prices in check. Profit motive. The desire to earn profits incentivizes individuals and businesses to optimize their operations, reduce costs, and innovate. Profit serves as a key indicator of success and viability in the market. Limited government intervention. While the extent varies, capitalism generally advocates for minimal government interference in economic activities. The role of the state is often confined to enforcing property rights, maintaining the rule of law, and ensuring market regulations to prevent unfair practices. Wage labor. The labor market is characterized by individuals selling their labor to employers in exchange for wages. This dynamic underpins the relationship between employers and employees. Within capitalist economies, consumer sovereignty. Consumers play a crucial role in shaping the market by making choices based on their preferences and purchasing power. Their decisions influence what products are produced and which businesses thrive. Innovation and technological advancement. Capitalism fosters an environment conducive to innovation. As businesses seek competitive advantages, investment in research and development leads to technological progress and the creation of new industries. Advantages of capitalism. Economic efficiency. Resource allocation is driven by market forces, leading to efficient production and distribution of goods and services. Innovation and growth. The profit motive encourages continuous improvement, technological advancements, and economic expansion. Consumer choice. A wide variety of products and services are available, catering to diverse consumer preferences. Individual freedom. People have the liberty to pursue their economic interests, choose their careers, and engage in entrepreneurial activities. Critiques and challenges. Despite its strengths, capitalism faces several criticisms and challenges. Income inequality. Capitalism can lead to significant disparities in wealth and income, fostering social and economic inequalities. Market failures. Situations like monopolies, externalities, and public goods provision require government intervention, challenging the notion of limited state involvement. Exploitation. The profit-driven nature can result in the exploitation of labor and environmental degradation if unchecked. Economic cycles. Capitalist economies are prone to boom and bust cycles, leading to periods of economic instability and unemployment. Variants of capitalism. Capitalism is not monolithic and has various forms, influenced by cultural, political, and social contexts. Laissez-faire capitalism advocates minimal government intervention, emphasizing free markets and individual liberties. Welfare capitalism combines free market principles with social welfare programs to address inequalities and provide public services. State capitalism. The state plays a significant role in the economy, owning key industries while allowing private enterprise in other sectors. 2. Rise of capitalism and global trade. Age of exploration and global trade. Introduction. The age of exploration, spanning roughly from the early 15th to the early 17th centuries, was a pivotal period that fundamentally transformed global economics, politics, and societies. Age of exploration. An overview. The age of exploration was driven by European powers' quests for new trade routes, resources, and territories, motivated by factors such as the search for spices, gold, and other valuable commodities, as well as the desire to spread Christianity. Nations like Spain, Portugal, England, France, and the Netherlands embarked on voyages that connected continents previously isolated from one another. Global trade networks and the early capitalist economy. The establishment of global trade networks was a cornerstone in the rise of capitalism. These networks facilitated the exchange of goods, capital, and ideas across continents, creating interconnected economies. The influx of precious metals from the Americas, such as silver and gold, significantly increased Europe's capital base, enabling investment in new enterprises and infrastructure. Mercantilism, the precursor to capitalism. During the Age of Exploration, mercantilism emerged as the dominant economic doctrine. Mercantilism emphasized the accumulation of wealth, primarily gold and silver, through a favorable balance of trade. Nations sought to export more than they imported, establishing colonies to secure resources and markets. Role of trading companies and colonization. Trading companies played a crucial role in the expansion of global trade and the rise of capitalism. The VOC, for example, was granted extensive powers by the Dutch government, including the ability to wage war, negotiate treaties, and establish colonies. These companies operated on a capitalist model, raising capital through joint stock investments, distributing profits among shareholders, and reinvesting earnings to expand operations. Colonization provided European powers with access to vast resources, including spices, textiles, precious metals, and later, agricultural products like sugar and tobacco. The exploitation of these resources was integral to capital accumulation, fueling further economic growth and the development of manufacturing industries in Europe. Technological and navigational advancements. Technological innovations during the Age of Exploration were essential in facilitating long-distance trade and economic expansion. Advances in shipbuilding, navigation instruments such as the compass and astrolabe, and cartography enabled more accurate and efficient voyages. These improvements reduced the risks and costs associated with exploration and trade, making global commerce more viable and profitable. Impact on European economies. The influx of wealth from global trade significantly impacted European economies. The accumulation of capital allowed for the expansion of industries, the development of financial institutions, and the growth of urban centers. Cities like Amsterdam and London became financial hubs, facilitating investments in trade and manufacturing. The availability of capital also supported the emergence of a merchant class, whose economic activities and investments were fundamental to the development of capitalist economies. The slave trade and capital accumulation, a dark and significant aspect of the Age of Exploration, was the transatlantic slave trade. Enslaved Africans were forcibly transported to the Americas to work on plantations, producing commodities such as sugar, cotton, and tobacco. The profits generated from this labor were instrumental in capital accumulation, financing further economic ventures and investments in Europe. While the slave trade was morally reprehensible, its role in the economic foundations of capitalism cannot be overlooked. Expansion of markets and consumer demand. The Age of Exploration expanded markets beyond Europe, creating a global demand for European goods. This expansion was crucial for capitalism, which relies on continuous market growth and consumer demand. Scientific revolution and intellectual shifts. Parallel to the Age of Exploration was the scientific revolution, which promoted empirical observation and innovation. This intellectual shift encouraged technological advancements and rational economic thinking, both of which supported capitalist development. Legacy and consequences. The Age of Exploration and the rise of global trade had profound and lasting impacts on the development of capitalism. The establishment of global trade networks, the accumulation of capital, and the creation of financial institutions laid the groundwork for modern capitalist economies.